Hello and welcome to episode 42 of Are You Ready here on Newport City Radio. I'm Curtis and I'm going to be talking about Jey Uso winning the WWE World Heavyweight title and that main event match, Paul Heyman turning on Roman Reigns and CM Punk.
Hi, I'm Jack. For my segment this week, I will be talking about WWE buying AAA and our overall thoughts of WrestleMania Night 1.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you, Jack?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Very tired to say the least.
Yes.
I think all wrestling UK fans know how it feels to watch such big events like these that go on for hours and hours on end. But first of all, Jack, how are you after night one? Night one of WrestleMania. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. Kind of shocked.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of big things to get into today. It is just me and Jack. If you listened to last week's edition, you would have known it was just me and Jack in the studio, as Luke is taking a little hiatus, but don't worry. Luke will be back tomorrow for night 2 of WrestleMania review. I think it's only right we kick off with something that, to us two, maybe not so much to Luke, that is one of the biggest things that happened, and it kicked off WrestleMania last night, the first match on the card, and that was Jey Uso versus Gunther. What a match it was. It was a very good start to the night. I'm so glad Jey won. 100% I'm so glad Jey won. I knew it was going to happen, and I think he fully deserves to win. The finish, though, we need to talk about the finish. The finish was so unexpected. It started off with the finish sequence started with a few super kicks, went into a spear, 3 frog splashes, but then it ended with Gunther, the World Heavyweight Champion, tapping out to Jey Uso with his own move. What happened there? Wow. Jack, I want to get your thoughts on this because I know you're a big Jey Uso fan as well. Massive, as I am. Yes. But talk to me.
Very, very unexpected for him to tap out to his own move.
100%.
I genuinely thought for a moment there, I thought he was going to pass out. I was like, don't pass out, please.
There was the thought that maybe Gunther could have passed out, but he didn't. He tapped.
It was a very, very hard fought win for Jey.
Very much so. I think you've seen Jimmy Uso in the ring afterwards, celebrating with his brother, and I know how much that meant to Jey Uso. He's worked his socks off the past couple of weeks, past couple of months even, becoming Intercontinental Champion, then losing it back to Bron Breakker.
He's been on a very solid run. Yeah,
to say the least, he has been on a very solid run, and now he's your WWE World Heavyweight Champion. It's something that quite a lot of us wanted, and I know the fans wanted it as well. It was the crowd were electric to kick off.
It was very fan driven.
Yeah, his entrance was brilliant. You had like the dancers. I think they were from the Raiders,
flag bearers.
Yeah, and then they had the flag bearers with kind of the yeet flags and. Mm-hmm. Very good entrance, very good pop. Great match to start the show. I did say last week that I think Gunther and Jey will kick off the show.
Yes, you did.
And I think it was only right that they kicked off the show. But yeah, all the titles changed hands except from Tiffany Stratton.
Bar one
title changed hands. You had LA Knight lose his title to Jacob Fatu. You had Gunther lose his title to Jey Uso. You had
The New Day
win the tag team championships. We'll get into that a bit later because I've got some very strong opinions on that match. But overall WrestleMania there's always a buzz when it comes to WrestleMania. You had NXT Stand and Deliver. Which was nice. I think it was around 6 p.m. UK time, I think, that it's kicked off, and that led us into the kickoff show, the countdown to WrestleMania Night 1. But just quickly talking about the kickoff show, the countdown to WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
There was some strong announcements on there. It was some
very strong,
unexpected ones, and some expected ones. First of all, let's get into this. Rey Mysterio was meant to face El Grande Americano, i.e. Chad Gable.
Chad Gable, yeah.
I'm telling you, it's Chad Gable. But unfortunately, Rey Mysterio got injured last night. Not last night, the night before on Friday Night SmackDown. Against who were they facing? It was American Made, wasn't it? It was a 6-man tag match.
Brutus Creed apparently injured him. Yeah,
it was a groin injury. I think he may have pulled his groin or torn his groin or something. By the sounds of it, that's what got reported, and it got reported that either Rey Fenix or Dragon Lee would replace Rey Mysterio, and it was announced on the countdown to WrestleMania that it was going to be Rey Fenix versus El Grande Americano, but there was something big that you need to talk about, Jack.
Even bigger
than Rey Fenix being in his first WrestleMania match. Something that is huge for the company. Jack, take it away.
Very massive. Regards to Mexican wrestlers, they've announced they have bought a Mexican promotion called AAA.
The biggest lead in Mexican wrestling, kind of the lucha libre wrestling style.
They had all...
Jack, what's your thoughts on this? Tell me your thoughts. Tell me everything.
I'm very, very excited for this, partnership, because it's going to expand the roster massively.
100%.
Full of lucha libre talent, such as Rey Fenix, Rey Mysterio. Obviously, he got his start from AAA, and Dragon Lee, just to name a few.
Yeah, it's a very good deal. Obviously, they've got the partnership with TNA as well, and you've seen kind of the NXT wrestlers cross over there as well. And I think that was a great deal. But now they've got another partnership. WWE are taking it to a whole new level.
They're taking this business by storm and just going...
Yeah, it's like you had AEW, they have a partnership sometimes with...
New Japan
Pro Wrestling. And talking about that as well, it's been announced that the pay-per-view, or PLE, or however you want to call it, whatever you want to call it, has been announced that it's going to be in the O2 in London.
Forbidden Door.
Yeah, Forbidden Door, that's the one. That's the name I was looking for. Forbidden Door, a crossover between AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling, is going to be in London. Just talking about partnerships, I think that's going to be a good thing. Funnily about that, Luke messaged me and was like, fancy a trip to London? I was like, go on then, why not? So who knows, you may even see us back in London again. But let's go into detail about this AAA announcement with WWE. You've obviously said you think it's an amazing deal for the company and you think it's going to expand. I'm going to put you on the spot here.
Okay.
Who do you think... What dream match do you think they'll have at this Worlds Collide pay-per-view? Who? I could definitely... I'll give you a name just to give you a little hint.
I've got one name.
Is that name Rey Mysterio?
I was thinking of Andrade.
Andrade, yes. I'm trying to think of who we could see.
Rey would definitely be on the card.
100%. Rey was there when they announced it, and they said it's massive for the company. And Rey kicked off and started his journey, his wrestling career, in AAA.
Mm-hmm.
His first pay-per-view was in AAA. His first match was in AAA. And he basically said, like, he would have never have thought of AAA would be bought by WWE, let alone he be in WWE at all. But these Mexican wrestlers and the Lucha Libre wrestlers, they've got some crazy talent.
It's been going from strength to strength.
100%.
I'd say the acquisition of Penta.
Yeah, Penta is taking it by storm. He's such a great wrestler, but I think it's very good for both companies, in my opinion. I think we're going to see some great matches at Worlds Collide. Worlds Collide got announced as well on the countdown to WrestleMania. It got reported a couple of minutes before. People are quick on social media these days, honestly.
Very fast, yes.
Very, very fast. They're very quick, and I just don't understand how they're so quick.
That's why I stay off my phone.
Yeah, honestly. Like, stay off your phone because you see everything. I'll tell you which is the worst platform for it. It's X. X is the worst platform for it. Anything you can think of is on that app. It's crazy. But I think we're going to see some great matches.
It got announced for June, didn't it?
Yeah, I think it's June. I think it's... Let me look. Should we look? Let me have a look, because...
Yes.
Like, I'm very tired, so I don't remember a lot. But
we've watched a lot of wrestling over the past couple of days.
And you wouldn't have guessed we've still got more wrestling to watch. And we've got more wrestling to talk about tomorrow. We will be back in the studio tomorrow.
We will.
And we will be... Luke will be back. And will we... We will talk... We will be talking about night 2 of WrestleMania, but there's definitely a lot to come. We'll get into our overall thoughts a bit later, but let me find the date for Worlds Collide. So you've got, let me see, 2025.
2025, yeah.
Okay, so it's on June 7th. So the 2025 Worlds Collide is an upcoming wrestling event co-produced by WWE and Lucha Libre AAA worldwide. It will be the 4th Worlds Collide, and it will take place on Saturday, June 7th at the Kia Forum in Inglewood, California. The event will air on the WWE live streaming platforms, marking the first Worlds Collide to air on Netflix internationally, and will feature wrestlers from the WWE's NXT brand and the Lucha Libre AAA wrestling side of things. This will be the first Worlds Collide event held since 2022. So get your dates booked in. It is June 7th, 2025 in Inglewood, California in the Kia Forum Arena. Worlds Collide. I genuinely think we're going to see some very good matches on here. They could do so much with this. Like,
I didn't think it was that long, 2022.
Yeah, it's been 3 years. 3 years since the last one, which is crazy. Absolutely crazy. But this is really, really good for the company.
It's very promising, yes.
Yeah, there's so much they can do with this, honestly. There is really so much they can do. But there's so much we could say about this, but there's so much we couldn't say. There's so much to talk about, but I really genuinely think this is going to go somewhere. And WWE just seem to be going from strength to strength to strength to strength after strength to strength. Anything you can think of, they've done.
Well, at the moment, they have a lot of money to...
well, they've obviously got this...
Splash.
They've got this next Netflix deal, which is crazy. WrestleMania being on Netflix is just crazy. Talking about WrestleMania and talking about it being on Netflix and talking about Jay-Z, I don't know whether you've seen it. I did put it in the chat last night. Just after Jay won the title, they were transitioning into the replays and stuff.
Oh, I did.
And the Survivor Series War Games transition was coming up.
Very weird.
And this was kind of the thought from last week's podcast. And Luke raised this. Is there going to be any issues? And I think there's been a few. I don't know why they've done that. But you would have thought at WrestleMania they would have got the right transition. Like
maybe they're tired. Maybe
they're tired. I don't know if you see. Obviously, the
sat in the production truck.
The Hall of Fame happened, or the Hall of Sleep, as I should call it. Everyone was sleeping. It was the most funniest thing ever. Jason had his shades on and was just sat there, just like. And it just sat there, not giving a care in the world. Bianca Belair nearly fell over. Booker T was out of it. He was out of it. But yeah, WrestleMania it's just something brings it to the world, and I think it's no feeling like it. WrestleMania, it's an amazing event full of great matches, but. Yeah. Segment 3, though, and I know we're going to be talking about this for quite a while.
Yeah.
Paul Heyman has turned on Roman Reigns
and CM
Punk. If you knew about this main event,
he's done a double swerve.
He talk about Swerve Strickland and all that. He's done a massive swerve. What the hell has happened here? What? This main event saved the show. Honestly, it really did. It really saved the show. And I genuinely cannot believe. I can't get my head around it. We've known Paul Heyman to be with Roman Reigns for so long. But the main event, the pivotal main event, what a main event it was. There were some very big moments in this match. And I just think it's crazy that Paul Heyman has turned on Roman to then turn on CM Punk, which then led to Seth Rollins winning the match. So Seth Rollins won your main event. Let's talk about him turning on Roman. The chair got brought into the ring by Paul Heyman, and just before he threw it in, there was a massive stare down between Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns and CM Punk. He then threw the chair to CM Punk, got in the ring, and he knew something was coming when he got in the ring. He got in the ring and he knew something was going to happen. Something dodgy was going to happen. He then gave a low blow to CM Punk. What? Why? How? In what world, in what universe am I living in? What? Am I being stupid? Because I don't get it. What? Wait, Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman? Really? What? I get the rivalry between Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins and the Shield type stuff and all of that. But Luke called it.
He did, yes.
He called that Seth Rollins might leave that main event as the winner and Paul Heyman will walk off with him. And he sure damn did.
Luke was correct.
Luke is correct once again, but I need to get your thoughts on this. I really do. I need to get your massive, a humongous amount of thoughts on this.
Well, for starters, it was a very emotional roller coaster for me watching this match because
it was a very emotional match, 100%.
At the end of the day, they're three men that I've followed their careers for best part of the last decade.
Yeah,
and just the way it played out was fantastic.
It's crazy to think that. It's like the question is now, what's going to happen? What's going to happen on Monday? What's going to happen tomorrow? What is going to happen? I'm lost for words for this. I really am. The match though was that there was so many good spots. It was, you could feel the emotion, you could feel the passion, you could feel the energy. The crowd were loving it, and there was a lot of reports on social media that the main event saved the show. And Luke said it. Let me find out what he exactly said. Let's get it word for word, so I don't.
Go on.
Let me get it, because we've got a group chat, and we. What did he say? He was like, I called it, and Jack was like, they put 3 crazy emojis. Then said, "What a main event." Luke then said, "How do we feel?" You then said, "The main event was fantastic, a very solid show, if I'm honest." Then Luke put, the main event definitely saved the show. Which I agree with, because the show kicked off brilliantly with Jay winning the title.
Yeah.
And then it just, I don't know what happened. It just
fell flat.
It just fell flat.
A tiny bit, I mean.
You had matches that, in my opinion, shouldn't even be on the card. Or if they were going to be on the card, they could have done something better with them. They kind of lacked on that part. It kind of just went, I don't want to use the word dead, but it kind of went very stale. Because, it was just, well, here's the match order. You obviously had Jey Uso versus Gunther. You then had the New Day versus the War Raiders. Then you had Jade Cargill versus Naomi. You then had Jacob Fatu versus LA Knight. Then El Grande Americano versus Rey Fénix. Then you had Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair. Then you had the main event. The main event went on for 32 minutes. The second longest match on the card was the Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair match.
Yeah.
Then it was Jey Uso versus Gunther. The main matches was 9 minutes. So you had 16 minutes 30, 9 minutes 15, 9 minutes 20, 10 minutes and 40 seconds, 7 minutes and 55.
Mm-hmm.
To have a 7-minute match on a live pay-per-view, the biggest show, the show of the Immortals, WrestleMania. What?
You'd think they'd keep it running long, just a tiny bit longer.
I get they may have. There could have been a longer match because obviously El Grande Americano versus Rey Fenix was 7 minutes 55 seconds, and it was originally meant to be Rey Mysterio. So I get it's kind of a last-minute thing.
Yeah,
but with that talent, you thought they could have put on a better match. And like you go from one massive strength to lack the show, and I don't want to put hate on this show. No one wants to put hate on WrestleMania. It's one of the biggest shows of the year. It's the biggest show in sports entertainment. Nothing else beats the excitement for WrestleMania. But what? I think I really hope, right? I really hope tonight lives up to his expectations and they put on I
think it will.
a real stellar show and they save it because, in my opinion, Luke is right. The main event saved the show. Mm-hmm. Not the whole show, but most of the show.
I'd say the middle part of the show.
The middle, yeah. Explain to me, how was you feeling in the moment of the after Jay winning to transition into the next match and so forth? How did you feel? Did you feel like it lacked? Did you feel kind of the energy wasn't there? The buzz kind of wore off?
The whole energy just dissipated slightly.
Yeah.
After that. Especially for the El Grande Americano match. I absolutely don't understand why they done what they did with that match.
Yeah, I want to talk about the tag match as well. I know we're kind of getting into the overall thoughts. We'll save that for a minute, actually.
Okay.
Because we need to finish on this main event. This main event went on for 32 minutes. This is a problem with us, Jack. We go from one thing to another and we get carried away. We get carried away, honestly. But, it's WrestleMania, we're tired, our brains are not working, we're all wrestled out and we've still got more wrestling to watch. Fun times for wrestling fans, but we all love it. Give me a hell yeah if you love wrestling. Hell yeah! Give me a yeet if you're happy with Jey Uso winning the title. Yeet. Anyway, back on track. What's your give me your final thoughts on Paul Heyman turning on Roman and CM Punk? Give me your final thoughts on that whole match.
Am I allowed to say what Paul Heyman is?
No. Find a PG word, not attitude. Haha, I got it in, Luke. Attitude.
Irritating.
Irritating. That's a very good word. So you're going for the segment of the word of the WrestleMania for this segment is irritating. For Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman is being described as irritating. I love that. I think my final thoughts is it's a massive shock.
I was definitely surprised, put it that way.
Yeah, it's a very surprising thing for it to happen. I mean, I don't get it. Why? Why though? I really don't understand it. But here we are. This is wrestling. There's always a meaning of something. I guess they're just going to go with the flow like they do with most stuff. But this is where we're going to be here for a while. We really are going to be here for a while. The last segment of the show. I know. It's only been 25 minutes and we're already ending on the last segment. Don't worry. Don't worry. We're going to be waffling on for a while. We
Good
really
10,
are.
15 minutes.
Oh, we'll be here for an hour, honestly. I could talk for an hour. I could literally talk for an hour. But I know you can as well. But Jack, kick us off with the final segment.
Well, I wanted to just go over our final overall thoughts of night one. I'll get into mine first.
Take it away.
Just as you. I just thought the start of it was they started off really well. Yeah. Really well. Yeah. And just again the middle part of the whole card just felt flat. But then the main event just delivered massively. It was fantastic the way it played out, everything. I particularly enjoyed the 2 table spots.
The table spots were insane. They had new tables as well.
Yes, they did. Apparently, they're more reinforced.
Wow, they didn't end up more reinforced, did they?
And
quite a lot of them got broke.
Yes, and the final bit I just wanted to mention for my thoughts is the stage.
The stage, yeah, the stage was. The stage replicated the main hotel, I think, on the Las Vegas Strip.
The Strip, yeah.
Yeah, and it was... Well, the funny thing about that is the blueprint that got leaked on social media...
Sadly, it did, yes.
Was indeed correct.
It was.
There was a lot of kind of... Rumours of what the stage would look like, and... It got hyped up very bigly that Triple H said this stage is going to be nothing like we've kind of seen before. It's going to top all the other stages.
I'm very pleased with how it looks.
I wouldn't say it's the best WrestleMania stage they've ever had, but
no,
it's definitely in the top 5. It's definitely in the top 5.
I particularly enjoyed the they had seats at the very top.
Yeah, where you've got the WrestleMania
the balcony.
You've got the WrestleMania sign at the top, the Tron that goes across the two main parts of the stage, where above where the superstars come out. There's seats on the side of the stage and on top of the stage.
Yeah, which is quite unique.
It's something we've never seen before. It really is. Mm-hmm. It's something that we've never seen before.
Triple H was right.
Yeah. But I have one thing. I dread to think how much them tickets cost for them seats.
Oh, wow.
They must
be like VIP or something.
They must be like top VIP. Imagine getting those seats.
Like
crazy. Very crazy. Do you have anything else to talk about WrestleMania? Can you think of anything? Anything that you disagree with? Anything you agree with?
I'm highly disagreeing on the El Grande Americano match. First, why was it so short? I understand why it was, because Rey was
Rey Mysterio was injured and Rey Fenix came in.
But I just don't understand why you've built Rey Fenix up as this next level
superstar, kind of like they're doing with Penta,
Lucha Libre, and the decision to have him lose his debut at Mania was very, very unexpected for me.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I'm going to get into my thoughts because I'm very puzzled about this. So, the start of the show was really good. Mm-hmm. Then the middle of the show lacked a little bit. It could have been better. The tag match, in my eyes, is a bit of controversy for you. The tag match, which was the New Day, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods versus the War Raiders, was kind of pointless in my eyes. In my eyes, it was a bit pointless. Why have a 9-minute match on the biggest WrestleMania ever, the biggest card, say the biggest show of the year, and have a match for that when they could have had it on SmackDown? And I don't understand, and a lot of people were quite angry about the fact that the other tag team, the SmackDown tag team titles, has been announced as a TLC match,
which is very, very underwhelming.
I think it's a triple threat TLC match: the Street Profits, the Motor City Machine Guns, and DIY. And a triple threat TLC match is on next week's SmackDown. I would have loved to have seen that on night one.
They should have switched.
Or they should have added it, in my opinion. How many matches did we had 7 matches. I think we could. You could have added that, especially at the fact that you had that there was so much time that they had. They could have done it, in my opinion. I genuinely think they could have, but like I said, the main event stole the show.
Yeah.
It went strength to strength. It built up. The entrances were really good. You had CM Punk have his live entrance, and I know Luke will thoroughly enjoy that, and he'll probably talk about that tomorrow, knowing Luke.
He will.
Because he loves CM Punk. But, yeah, the tag match in my eyes was a bit pointless, kind of a bit stale. The Jade Cargill-Naomi match was kind of... It was mid. It was all right. We kind of knew Jade was going to win.
Good win for her, though.
The Jacob Fatu and LA Knight match, I like the fact that LA Knight came out in a supercar. And then they rolled the window down. He appeared on the camera, and then it went L.A. Knight. Yeah. But that was a good match. I think we knew Jacob was going to win. Mm-hmm. I think we was going to see a title change there. I think Jacob Fatu is going to excel, being the United States champion now.
I see him holding it for a long.
I see him holding it for at least 150 days plus. Mm-hmm. El Grande versus Americano. El Grande Americano versus Rey Fenix. El Grande Americano was a mid-match. It was kind of boring in my eyes. It was.
Yeah.
They could have really done more with that. You've got to think it's a WrestleMania show. You want to put your best matches on. You want to do something with the show. You want to thrill it. You want to get the fans excited for it. But that was all right. Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair. That was a good match. I'm pretty sure Tiffany Stratton lost some teeth in that match, didn't she? Looked like teeth got knocked down.
I think she did, yeah.
So
Charlotte came out in a Rolls Royce.
Yeah, Charlotte came out in a Rolls Royce, and Tiffany Stratton came out in a Barbie box thing.
Or should I say Ethel Flair?
Ethel Flair, get the name right. Our very own Lamsey loves Ethel Flair. Good old Ethel Charlotte Flair. But let's talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about Tiffany Stratton's entrance. Tiffany Stratton, who is the champion, came out first.
Yes.
A lot of people indicated, I know Cultaholic Wrestling put out that they put a post out straight away. Tiffany coming out first, that's not a good sign, which would indicate that Charlotte might have won the match. Mm-hmm. And as Luke says, the saying goes, you're guaranteed 3 things in life.
Death, taxes.
And Charlotte Flair getting a title shot straight away. And it wouldn't have surprised me if she did win it, but I genuinely hope she didn't win it. And she didn't. Tiffany Stratton retained after 19 minutes and 5 seconds. I think that was a good match. I think that built up for the main event. It's hard though with WWE because they've got so many good matches on the card, and you've got so many big expectations, and then they don't live up to the expectations.
It's hard to live up to every.
It's hard because the main focus on the night was obviously the J match and the main event. So
everything in between just felt.
It felt like there wasn't enough push for it, and it was.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate because you've got such a big show, such a stacked card full of really good wrestlers, and then something like that happens. It's like, why? But I'm sure tonight will live up to its expectations, and we will see such a good night tonight or tomorrow, technically for UK fans, because the show starts at midnight
tomorrow.
But yeah, if you give me your thoughts on. Let's go into our thoughts on kind of quickly. One final thoughts on each match. Let's give our final thoughts on Jay and Gunther. Final thoughts on each match. Let's go.
Amazing.
What was good about the match? What did you like about the match?
How hard fought it was for Jay. How he was so determined to pick up the win by trying every move under the sun. It was,
and that's the thing. It wasn't just super kick after super kick, which was good. It was there was power bombs and stuff. I think that match was genuinely a really, really good match. I enjoyed it. It was a great way to start the show. I just can't explain how happy I am that Jay won. I really am. But yeah, I think it's good. The New Day are your new tag team champions. What do you think of that match? It's 9 minutes and 15 seconds.
Flat.
Are we just going to name every match with one word? Can we just do that?
One word explanation.
Yeah, that's all you need. It's just...
Yeah.
The first match, the word for that is... Second match, flat. Third match... Jade Cargill versus Naomi.
Good. It was a good win for Jade Cargill.
I think that was kind of the plan, that Jade would get the revenge on Naomi, and I think it was good. I think it was good, but they could have done more with it. I mean, it just feels like we've been let down a little bit with these other matches. But then, and the focus isn't really on those matches. But then obviously the focus is on the main event.
I mean, since they've moved from one night to two, usually
it seems to be a pattern with WrestleMania. It was like last year, night one kind of. Mm-hmm. Night one was kind of the main event was good of night one, and then night two was just something spectacular. You had John Cena, The Undertaker, The Rock, Cody, Roman, Seth, and then they all came out and celebrated Cody winning the title.
It's like they used night one as an experimentation.
It's an experiment to see kind of how the crowd are, but I think they know this year. I think they know now they've really got to improve the second night. They've really got to show what it can live up to, and I think it will. I've got a question for you. Well, I've got a question for you.
Okay.
What do we see next for Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman? What do we see next? What are they going to do next? Where do you think it goes now? Because normally Roman Reigns goes on a hiatus after WrestleMania. He normally kind of goes on a couple of months hiatus.
Yeah.
He done it last year. He done it the year before. He says he's not a part-timer. He definitely is. He's 100% a part-timer because he's there a bit more now. But when he was champion, he was barely there.
He said in an interview recently that he's only got
he's got
1 or 2 years.
He's got his contract ends
after his contract.
His contract ends soon, and then he said he's probably got another year or two left, and then he's going to take on a less physical entertainment side of things. I think that's another way of saying he's going to go to Hollywood.
Yeah.
I think he's going. It's inevitable. He's going to go with The Rock to Hollywood, and he's going to star in some films, do some action films, and different stuff like that. I think it's pretty obvious, isn't it? I think we've always had that indication with Roman and The Rock that as soon as The Rock went over to Hollywood, Roman would follow at some point. Will we ever see Roman versus The Rock though?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Personally,
I mean, we could, but I don't think it will ever happen.
They've had so many opportunities to pull the trigger.
It was meant to be last. It was meant to be last year, but then the fans took to Twitter and absolutely was like, no, you stole the main event off Cody. How dare you? Don't do that. And then they was like, yeah, okay, we're gonna have to do something here. And I think that's the problem with social media these days. Like, there's so many things that can go wrong with social media, especially if things get leaked as well. That's the
main part I hate about it. People leaking stuff.
And it's like wrestling 5 or 6 years ago, when social media wasn't a real huge thing. Well, not as big as it is nowadays. So many people rely on social media, and I think social media is good for certain things, but the leaks are just jarring. It's like, why ruin something so good? I mean, it's nice to know, you could expect this person, you could expect this person. Who could you expect? What surprises could you get?
Yeah.
But then to spoil that people are going to be there, it's like, I don't really get it. But talking about surprises, Jack, you've got a question for me.
Oh, I actually forgot.
You've forgotten?
Yes.
Well,
unfortunately.
Well, I'll ask you then. What surprises are we going to see tonight for night 2? What surprises are we going to see?
Well, I hope the one big one I'm going to say is we see an appearance from Steve Austin.
Stone Cold Steve Austin?
Yes.
Well then, anything else? Any other matches that may need a little surprise? Because there's 2 matches currently on the card that have got mystery opponents.
Oh, yeah.
He's remembered now.
Yes.
He's remembered now. It's just come to him. Oh, I love doing this podcast sometimes.
The Randy segment looks very interesting, how they're playing out.
If you could pick one person, and one person only, who is it going to be?
Well, unfortunately, this is kind of a bit unwinded because he's apparently been announced for SmackDown's
I think I know
next week.
I think I know you're referring to.
Aleister Black.
I think Aleister Black would be a good one. There's a few names out there. You've got Aleister Black, Nick Aldis, and Rusev. Those are the top 3 names that are running for Randy's opponent. My opinion, I think it'd be Nick Aldis. I think that would be a really cool thing. I mean, he's taken 2 RKOs. It's kind of a long storytelling. They don't have an opponent currently. And what was a nice touch as well, when it got announced that when Kevin came out there to go have surgery, as he was leaving the ring, Randy Orton said to him, "Go get fixed up." He whispered it to him as they were on the apron, and then Kevin left, and then Randy kind of was like, "I haven't got an opponent. You best find me an opponent." And
well, there is a story there for Nick Aldis because
they had the segment where he RKO'd him the other week.
Yeah, and previously, a couple of months back, he gave him 10K instead of 50.
No, it was 100K. It was 100K instead of 50K.
Yeah,
because the fine was $50,000 or 50 grand over here.
And he was like, "No, that's for next time."
No, that's for next time. And he was like, he doesn't care if he has to pay a fine if he gets to RKO Nick Aldis one more time. I think that would be good. I mean, the ultimate match between a dream match would be Adam Pearce versus Nick Aldis.
Yes.
That I mean, they were
the battle of the GMs.
They were sat next to each other at the Hall of Sleep. I mean, the Hall of Fame. I mean, I genuinely think it'll be Nick Aldis. Another one, right? Yeah. And here's a little one for you. Here's a little facts for you. I'm not sure exactly what year. I think it was 2018. It got announced yesterday that Bayley is out of the match. And it's not an actual injury. It's part of a storyline.
Ooh.
And it's been planned for a couple of weeks that Bayley will be taking out the match.
Yeah.
Which leaves one thing. This one person is in town. They were at the Hall of Fame. They're a fellow Irish person.
I think you know what I'm referring to.
And there was reports that they would maybe have a match with Lyra Valkyrie in some capacity.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't happen. There's no opponent. Nope. She's in town. She's previously returned at Allegiant Stadium in SummerSlam 2018 between the match of Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks for the WWE SmackDown title. It's the one and only the man, Becky Lynch.
It is.
That's my genuine thought. And as soon as it got announced that Bayley was out, I was like, it's going to be Becky. It's going to be Becky. It's going to be Becky. And I really hope it's Becky. Imagine the pop if Becky comes out.
It'd be insane.
Just imagine. It'd be crazy. It really would. And I genuinely hope. Do you agree with me though, Jack? Do you think it'll be Becky?
Yes, I do. I do hope it is.
I don't see it being anyone else. I really don't. I don't.
Not as much as Steve, but I do hope.
Imagine Stone Cold Steve Austin in an intergender match between Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. That would be brilliant. That would be brilliant. But I think it'll be Becky and Lyra versus Liv and Raquel Rodriguez. I think it will.
Yeah. Not just because they're both Irish.
Well, not just because they're both Irish. No. But I'm trying to think.
Mm-hmm.
Is there going to be any other surprises? I think we could see Travis Scott as well during the main event. I think he'll be there towards the end. Are you changing any of your predictions? Because I know you normally put your predictions on TikTok, and I know you're always on that. You're always doing that. And I think you said something in the chat last night that you're going to you want to change your prediction. Give me a final prediction on the main event.
Yes, I'm going with Cody.
You think Cody's going to win? So breaking 17th world title.
Well, for the prediction, I'm going with Cody, but
imagine this, right?
Without the whole prediction stuff.
Imagine this.
Mm-hmm.
Stone Cold Steve Austin comes out to help John win the match.
Okay.
But before John wins the match, Ric Flair comes out.
Oh.
Could we see that? I know it's a long shot, but could we see that?
There is a potential, yeah, because he was...
Because Ric Flair kind of said...
He was on Twitter.
He was on Twitter and kind of went and said, John's not going to win his 17th title. I'll make sure of that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Is he hinting that he's going to be there at Mania?
That is a slight hint, yes.
I think Stone Cold will come out in some capacity. Who kicks off night 2 though? We had Stephanie McMahon reveal the stage and said, "Welcome to WrestleMania" on the Pat McAfee show.
Mm-hmm.
She was on the countdown to WrestleMania in the last 20 minutes, 30 minutes or so.
Yeah.
Triple H kicked off the night 1 and said, "Welcome to WrestleMania. This is the first WrestleMania that's on Netflix." Are we going to see Triple H again, or do we see someone else?
I reckon we see someone else.
I think it should be Stephanie. I think Stephanie should kick off night 2. I mean, I and the reason I say that is because the first match that I think's happening on the kicking off WrestleMania is the triple threat match for the women's title. So Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky and Bianca Belair.
So she could be there to introduce.
I think she'll be there to introduce the match, and I think Rhea will come out first. Then it'll be Bianca. Then it'll be Io.
Mm-hmm.
I think the two contenders of winning the title it'll either be Io who retains or it'll be Rhea who wins it again.
I said Bianca.
I don't think they're going to give it to Bianca. I really don't. I mean, they might, but I don't.
She has form.
She deserves to win it, but I don't think she will. I think the main focus is kind of on Rhea, and I think they could play into the fact that Rhea wasn't even meant to be in the match in the first place. And she's now stole the title opportunity, and she's got the title now. And then they could do a storyline with Bianca.
Well, basically, she's jumped the queue.
Effectively, she's done a Charlotte Flair. Yeah, it seems to be a lot of that happening lately. But let's say John wins the title.
Okay.
And I'm just waffling now because I want to, and I just want to get some mad predictions and mad thoughts. Who will be John Cena's first opponent for the title if he wins?
Randy Orton.
The Viper Randy Orton. That was quite funny. That's going to be that'll be quite funny if it happens. Because I don't know who. I'm trying to think. I think it will be Randy if he does win. But who takes the title off John? Because John did say if he wins it, he's going to ruin it. And
he's taking it home. He's
taking it home. But they did spot. There was something at the WWE shop.
Yeah.
There was a hardcore title there.
Was there?
Yeah, there was a new...
Yes, there was.
There was a new hardcore title that got leaked, and I think it was like $1,000. I think it was like $1,000 for this hardcore title.
Was it like gold? It was gold.
I think it was the same one that Travis Scott had, or something like that, and it was a hardcore title. Could we play back into like the hardcore era and the Attitude Era, and they bring back the hardcore?
I'd love to see the belt back. Yes.
Could we see that on Raw after Mania? Because I'm pretty sure John is booked for that.
He is. Yes.
I'm pretty sure John is and Cody isn't. Is that a sign that John's going to win his 17th world title and break the record? That Cody isn't booked for WrestleMania, the Raw after Mania, and that's normally a really good show. That is like the top dollar show.
Yeah, it's the best Raw of the year.
Oh, 100%. There's so much to talk about, and there's so many predictions we could make. But let's get your final thoughts.
Of night one.
Final thoughts of night one, and any final predictions for tonight.
Fantastic.
For
night one. One final prediction for night two. I think Logan is going to beat AJ Styles.
You think Logan will beat AJ Styles?
Yes.
That's the problem with Logan's matches. There's always shenanigans in that match. Normally with the knuckle dusters or the metal things. But yeah, I think it's time for us to go back home now and get some well-needed rest.
Ready for tonight.
we will catch you tomorrow for another edition of Are You Ready? But Jack, first of all, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in today on a bank holiday as well.
Yes.
But, happy Easter, everyone. But thank you for listening to another stellar edition of the Are You Ready Wrestling Podcast here on Newport City Radio. We will catch you tomorrow for another edition.